So during this cold, wintry weather, please consider your pets. Thinking about your cats, if they have access to the outdoors, that's absolutely fine. They'll continue to love being outdoors, but do make sure they've got access to a warm, sheltered environment, either in the house or in an outbuilding. If their water is outside, always check that obviously it's not frozen over. And a real concern is antifreeze and rock salt, so that can be poisonous to them, so make sure they're not exposed to those, as they are obviously used in this cold weather. With your dogs, they too will love going out in the snow, but you do need to be careful of the snow impacting on their paws, so always make sure that you either avoid them walking directly on the snow, or you can just melt the snow slowly with warm water when you get home. You can of course invest in a coat. Not all dogs need a coat, but if they're very young, very old or poorly, then you might want to consider just insulating them with a nice coat. They can of course also slip on the ice, so do make sure they take care around icy conditions. Rabbits and guinea pigs are always a concern in this wintry cold snap, so if you can bring them indoors, please consider it, even if it's just for a few days, just to take them out of this really cold environment. But if you can't bring them indoors, then make sure their enclosure is insulated. You can do that by buying insulating covers for their enclosure, or blankets, newspapers. Extra bedding and substrate in the form of dust-free hay is always good, so just please make sure that they've got plenty of protection from the elements. Make sure their enclosure is not facing the wind or the snow, and that they're not damp. Rabbits and guinea pigs, of course, they're pretty hardy, but equally so, this weather can be quite challenging for them. And with birds or chickens, it's very difficult to bring them indoors, but please consider, again, make sure they've got plenty of place to shelter from the elements so that they are not cold and damp. And birds tend to eat more when they are cold, so do make sure they've got a plentiful supply of food. With any animals housed outdoors, always make sure that you check that their water is available and hasn't frozen over. With any pets, just check on them regularly, make sure that they have the option of getting to a warm, sheltered, comfortable environment, and making sure they're well fed and well watered, and I'm sure you'll all have very happy pets.